Clark on the mic, yes, I'm doing what I do, representing for the ladies, but he's speaking for the goons. Back and forth with the banter. You got questions, we got answers. Every week we bringing you the entertainment and the news. Welcome to our podcast for the ladies and the goons. Ladies, goons, ladies, goons, ladies, goons, ladies, goons.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of the Ladies and Goons podcast. All right, well, we're back. We took 2 weeks off. Kind of unintentional, but it's fine. We took 2 weeks off and we're back, and we're happy to be here and talk to you all. Today's episode is going to be titled Fake It Till You Make It. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the scams and scammers that have been around for a little bit. And one particular show that I really enjoyed, I wanted to talk about, and I know Buck kind of is over it by now. We should have talked about it 2 weeks ago, but we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then some of the other shows that have been highlighting some of the people that have been pulling these scams. Hi, Buck.
Yep.
How you doing today?
I'm alive.
That's great. We want you to be alive, so that's good. That's great. All right, so in case you don't know, the first show that I'm going to talk about just a little bit is called Inventing Anna. And this show, well, what did you think about the show, Buck, just in general?
I think that there's no way in the world a black man could have done any of that.
I agree with you. I don't think that would have been as easy if at all possible, but definitely not as easy as it seemed on that show, which I'm sure it wasn't when you put everything together like that and embellish some things, it seems a lot easier than it is. But the fact that there are, and we will talk about some of them, other people who have pulled off some crazy scams as well, let you know that it's possible, but albeit not possible for everyone.
She had ambition, though.
Very ambitious. Very ambitious. And still is. I'm thinking from the interviews that I've seen after. This show was entertaining. After every episode, which I thought was really fun, starts with the disclaimer that it is based on a true story, except for the parts that were totally made up. So I think that's actually funny. And it was built into every episode, like just put somewhere in the episode. So loosely based off of a true story, and then also some embellishments to make it more interesting. Although I feel the original story would have been interesting enough, but yeah.
You can't tell what the original story is.
True. I don't know that we'll ever have that, because she's not necessarily going to say. There's some things that she kind of cleared up in some of the interviews that I've watched after the fact, and she's working on another Netflix show right now.
Cleared up or tried to put her spin on it?
Yeah, probably. I'll say that.
Right.
Her spin. So for those of you who don't know, I'll just give you a really quick background of her story as we know it. She was born in Russia. Her name is Anna Delvey. Well, she goes by Anna Delvey. Her name was Anna Sorokin is her real name. So she was born in Russia, and her family moved to Germany when she was 16. Anna Sorokin is a Russian-German convicted fraudster. Between the years 2013 and 2017, while living in the U.S., she pretended to be a wealthy German heiress under the name Anna Delvey in order to defraud banks, hotels, and wealthy acquaintances. So, all of which she's not, there's no remorse for any of this stuff, because, she feels that people, out of her mouth, people deserved it, and they got what they deserved. So, what are your thoughts on that? Just that, the little background, whatever. Nothing? Anything? No?
No acquaintances. You defraud acquaintances.
wealthy.
I don't understand how that's possible. You tell people lies. People tell lies every day.
Yeah, this is true. That's part of what she was saying in some of her interviews when people asked her if she was remorseful or any of that, and her answers were consistent. And this is not only her, but the other, whether it's the Tinder swindler or some of the other people that are getting defrauded, they're not poor people. I mean, they're, for the most part, but they're also attracted to these people for a reason. So there's something that they feel like they're getting from these people in the first place, and they probably think that they're smarter and that they're using these people for something. Right. But then it spins around. So she said, people are so thirsty to be around rich, famous, cool people, and this includes the rich and famous, because the rich and famous they are also thirsty to be around other people that are rich and famous. She dropped out of college and moved to Paris to work as an intern for Purple magazine after supposedly interning in Berlin for a certain amount of time. So around this time, she appeared to have taken the surname Delvey. She just gave herself that name. And by 2013, she was well known in a number of high-profile parties, giving her access to New York's high society. So she wanted a different life for herself. In the story, in the movie or the show, it states that she was from a poor part of town. In actuality, she was from a middle class family. And then in the story, it also talks about her father and supposedly being some type of gangster or and having some money from some illegal activity, which also is not true. So some of it was like, made up to be this thing, but that's the least important or the least fascinating part for me. I think she just, she saw an opportunity. She saw what she wanted her life to be. She did not want to be in Germany anymore. She definitely didn't want to be in Russia. She actually stated rather be in jail in the US than be sent back to Russia. That was out of her mouth. So I don't know. She just had aspirations, and working in the fashion industry as that intern, she got to know a lot of high-end things, high-end fashion and personalities, and kind of took on a persona and ran with it. But she was really smart. I think that she was smart. She knew how to manipulate people, but that's one aspect of it. You know
That's what you call smart?
No, she knew that was one aspect of it. That's
one aspect of being smart.
Of why she was successful in what she was doing, but she was actually smart. Like, some people can manipulate and they don't have vision, and they don't have what she wanted, her end result, which she didn't actually get to. There was something there. It wasn't just trying to get money just to have a lot of money. She wanted something. She wanted a legacy. She wanted to build something. She put herself around people that she thought could get her to those places. And she projected as if she was already there. She was already that. So she was, and that's her thing. She didn't want to be thought of as some person that was just handed anything. She wanted people to know that she worked hard for it. And people try to take that away from her, but I think it just struck me as something that was, she seemed, it's hard to talk about her because I don't want to be like, well, she was so awesome, she's so cool, because I don't think she was, but I see something in her drive and what she wanted to be, where she wanted to be. And she still hasn't given up, so. Some things that were exaggerated, though, and to make this story interesting, which I don't think necessarily needed to be exaggerated. So there were City National and Fortress Bank. It showed that she was trying to borrow $40 million from them to start her foundation. And the actual number was 20 million. So why they thought they needed to go to 40, I don't know. But the show also states that she received $200,000 from a bank, which she used to fake having money. And, guess she had it because they gave it to her, but they loaned it to her and she overdraft. I could never overdraft that much. They wouldn't let me. But the actual amount was 100,000, not 200,000. So, things about her having their hairstylist in prison, all this other stuff. Vivian Kent, So she was really named Jessica Pressler, and she was the person that worked at the fake magazine, Manhattan Magazine. And she was the one interviewing. So this whole thing was told from that point of view of that interviewer, trying to figure out what's going on with Anna, and didn't really get many answers actually. And it's just a whole big thing. But I won't go too much further into her story itself. You can watch it, called Inventing Anna, and there's some other things out there about her. But what I wanted to talk to you about, Buck, is this whole scammer thing. We can start with how she did it, and I know you already mentioned like that couldn't have been a black man, couldn't have done that. But what do you think? How do you feel about it? Do you think that she was actually wrong for doing what she's doing, or is it kind of just people's fault for thinking that, oh, this person has a lot of money, so let me throw more money at them so that I can, in some roundabout way, get money off of them? Or what are your thoughts?
Well, I believe deception is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In general.
Mm-hmm.
I think using people is wrong. Even though everybody uses everybody, if there's not an even exchange, then I don't think it's right.
That's true. I can see that. And like I said, I didn't necessarily see anything wrong with the fake it till you make it part, but there's some parts in there where, you know, there was a wealthy woman, I forgot her name, but she pretty much scammed her out of $400,000 just buying stuff. It wasn't like some of the other things were like, okay, I'm getting this money, putting it towards this business and trying to make moves and shift money around like people, like everyone does, to make these moves. But with her, and also there were a number of people where she was like, well, they got the money, so it's fine. And I don't think that was right. And I think she was charming enough where she would have probably been able to get these people to give her or invest in what she was doing without doing that side of it. Or like when she stole a jet at one point, or swindled her way into a private jet, that she never paid for. But some of those things, I don't know. But her whole thing was, she was an heiress and she had $65 million in her trust. And so everyone took that and ran with it like, oh my gosh, this woman is worth so much. Which I guess 65 million is a lot of money, but I think because we see, I mean, now we talk about trillions and billions, and it just seemed like people were jumping through hoops for someone who possibly would have $65 million, and they were just like ready to do anything for it, which kind of made me, I mean, I don't know. I think they overlooked a bunch of things and they let things slide because they figured this person has money. And that's some class stuff that...
Because they thought they would get something out of it.
They absolutely thought they would. Whatever it is they thought. Whether they thought it was, we have this person that can be in our establishment and people will want to be here because they're here, or she will donate things, or whatever it was. But you thought that you were going to use her, and you're upset because she used you in a way that you gave her this. Like, you opened up and said, hey, sure, you're rich, I'm going to give you this. So you kind of got what you deserve somewhat. I'll say somewhat. Like I said, the lady that she took that money from, no, because she didn't okay that. You literally stole her credit card and bought things. But some of the other things, no. But fake it till you make it, right? That's what we're talking about here. The other story that I saw, I mean that's pretty much it for Anna Delvey. Her story is still going. She is waiting to be deported, or she's with ICE, and they're trying to deport her back to, I believe, Russia, which she does not want. So she's fighting that right now.
That's perfect timing for her. She ain't going to Russia now.
She knows she's not going to go to Russia now. She'll probably get some leniency, maybe. I don't know.
Asylum.
She was arrested and then she was released, and now ICE has her. So she might just stay detained for a while, or maybe she'll be smart enough to get out, or they'll let her out. So who knows with this day and age. What did you think about the Tinder swindler?
I don't know. I don't want to comment because my enemies might come looking for me.
That was his thing. Like, My enemies. That's how he got people. My enemies are coming for me. And it's crazy because this person didn't have money, got money from other people, and then used that money, kind of like what Anna Delvey did. Like,
nah, she had
got
a goal
some
of
money.
doing something. He just wanted to run around and take pictures. And
Oh yeah. That part's different. But the fact that she got money, like even when she got the $100,000 from the bank, she used that to like throw tips out and throw it like to show people that she's rich, like to prove that she was rich. And he did the same because he would take like $30,000 or $40,000 from one female and then woo another female with that money and like take flights and had all these other things until the money ran out, and then he'd be on that one like, oh, my enemies are coming for me, and show pictures. He showed them all the same pictures of him like beat up and his bodyguards and beat up and like all kinds of stuff, and made these stories about how, you know, enemies are coming from him and people that were trying to go after his parents, who actually were not his parents, but he just took on a name of some diamond dealers, that there was a family that's like that.
my
So
enemies.
he took and every single time, some of them were not even people that he was romantically involved with. Like literally one of them, I felt really bad because she was really just a friend, and she felt really bad for him that she thought his enemies were trying to get him, and she mortgaged her house, and he was telling her, you need to sell your car and send me this money, I'll give it right back to you. Similar to Anna Delvey with it's in the wires in the mail, the wires going through, and it should be there, and I don't know what's going on. It's international. That's what, like, going over and over and over. And these poor women, oh man, these poor women. But they found, I mean, some of them, the attraction was going on Tinder and seeing this man that had all of this money and was like living life, and they wanted to be a part of that. And he was able to woo them just a little bit and then say, you know, you need to be here for me. And one of them took him down. She
OD'd on him.
She was a savage. She got her money. She got her money back and took him down. Although
She didn't get her money
he was
back.
down. She didn't get all of it back, I don't think. Well, she probably did because they probably paid her for this show. So between the stuff that she sold, she got him to give back to her so that she could sell, and lied and told him she was going to give him the money for it. She kept that. She was still selling it while the show was on. She was getting alerts on the show like, oh, I just sold something of his, and laughing about it. She took him down, but not really, because he's thriving right now, charging $30,000 an appearance to go for consultations, but also appearances for like clubs and stuff. Like he's just charging people for a bunch of stuff.
That's mad smart. You just tell people things and get them to pay you.
I mean, honestly, he knew. I mean, what he did worked for a while, and so why not monetize it in some way, shape, or form? So he's still out there living life, and. Yeah, he had his child's mother was somebody that he had swindled at one point, and then she started helping him swindle people. I guess she just wanted her money. She was like, "Come on, we'll
This
do
is things like who determines how much these things are worth. Like a motivational speaker, there's not like a one rate for a motivational speaker.
Nope.
People will pay you different depending on what they think you're worth.
Yep, some of them millions.
So what makes a motivational speaker worth millions of dollars?
It depends on first of all, it's what they want or what they set their price as, but then their accomplishments, sometimes it's their followers, their outreach, how influential people think they are.
Right.
Those are all the things. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like you'll have a speaker. We hire speakers a lot in my job, and some of them are ridiculously expensive and some of them not so much. But all of them are a good amount. There's nobody you're getting for like $500 or $1,000. None. Not one that we've found ever. So it's kind of cool. You set your price and put out some type of quality product or quality speech, something that motivates people and they want to see it. And people are paying for your presence in your mind. There's not a set price you can put on that. It's just how I feel. There were some other. The Tindler one was hilarious. It was really hilarious because then the girl that
the who?
The Tinder swindler.
The Tindler one.
Yes, the Tindler one. Put it all together, then I don't have to say it twice. They're rhyming. The Tinder swindler. That one was funny. So the lady that actually got him arrested, it was just funny to watch it all. He got so angry with her. There was one scene where there was like back-to-back calls when he realized she wasn't giving him the money for the things that she was selling. And he went through every stage of grief. Like he was mad that he was like trying to be sweet, and then he was like accepting at one point, and then he went off and he started telling her that she was gonna die and people were gonna come after her. It was a lot. And his enemies, and she thinks his enemies are bad.
Enemies.
And he kept telling her, you have to do this because my enemies, you have no idea what I'm going through. And then he'll call back again and you effing this. It was great. The emotion was great. And she was just cracking up because she knows she got to him. I mean, like I said, in the end, he still won. But in that little window of time, she got to him. And it was kind of funny to watch.
But that's still strange because she shares those same feelings with him.
Yeah.
That same feeling that she's getting such a kick out of is probably the same feeling that he has when he does it to other people.
True. Except she's doing hers in revenge, and he's just doing her. I mean, he might be doing it in revenge, too.
Might be revenge.
Might be revenge on the wrong people, but just like someone did this to me and watch what I do to the world. Like that type of thing. Possible. It is possible. There were other scammers. Melissa Caddick conned $20 million from her family and friends before disappearing and is now presumed dead. I don't think she's dead. I think she got that 20 million and she was good to go. To me, if you have friends that can give you 20, you can con $20 million out of, you're in a pretty good space, like in circle. Like an average person can't just be like, I got this idea and this is what I'm going to do and like con $20 million. But she did. And I don't want to go into what it is, but it's weird because she has disappeared and they just presume that she's dead. Another person, Belle Gibson.
That's Mel Gibson's cousin?
Not related to Mel Gibson, I don't think. Belle Gibson was a health guru personality that conned people into buying into her clean eating lifestyle by lying about having cancer and being told she had 4 years to live, and then stating that she beat it through her clean eating. Now, this is where the term clean eating came from. It was from this person, but I don't know how I feel about that one because other than lying about having cancer, she was probably just improving people's lives and taking their money while doing so. But having people eat healthier and live an active and healthy lifestyle is a con that, I mean, if it worked, then you're just mad that this person said they had cancer and they cured it.
You can't deny people their right to kill themselves. Not in America.
But you can. Isn't suicide suicide is like not, I don't know, I can't say that it's against the law. It probably is, but if you succeed then there's no real, like, you're gone. But I don't know. I don't think that it's bad. I think where everybody's mad is that if she did have cancer and then she ate healthily or clean or whatever, and then she was okay and she cured it, then people would have been like, yay. But so they're mad that she wasn't deathly ill, I think. That would be my guess. What are your thoughts? Do you feel that she really did something wrong? Like except for of course, deception is wrong. So except for the part where it's like, oh, I had cancer and I never had cancer, but I figure out this is the way. That's the whole thing right there.
That's the main problem with it.
But they say it like when you say she conned somebody. Yes, okay, she didn't have cancer. However,
if they didn't think she had cancer, they might not have gave her the money.
They might not have, but it was proven. This is why it took off, because the things that she was doing and the clean eating and the, eating more fruits and vegetables and living healthy. So they paid for this, and a lot of people that did improve their life, they paid for that, unless they were just paying to be like, I'm paying so that I can not have cancer that I didn't have before, and this thing would cure it.
Maybe
like, I don't
they were
understand.
just paying because they thought she was going to die.
That's possible, but they weren't just donating. That would have been something if you're like, oh, I'm just donating money like someone's GoFundMe. But you were getting a service. Like she was a health guru and a personality that actually talked to people and gave inspirational talks and gave like meal plans, and those things cost a lot of money as well, putting all those things together. So if
She
you
went to
paid for
jail?
that, yeah,
For what?
for defrauding. It just says defrauding and conning people into buying into her clean lifestyle. I don't know, and she wasn't
Maybe she
here.
received some type of service or something as a direct result of claiming to have cancer.
That's possible. Maybe that she was able to I don't know. But she also wasn't, she's not from America. So here, I don't think she would have necessarily gotten in trouble for it. It would have been just a show probably. And like, oh, look at this.
Yeah, America.
But she's not from here. So this is, yeah, she's not from here. So who knows what happened there. The other one isn't either. Melissa Caddick, that conned the 20 million. I think it was the UK.
Oh, okay.
So, it's weird, and don't take this the wrong way.
America?
But the four people that I brought up, none of them are American. One of them conned Americans, but none of them are. So that might have something to do. I know Buck was like, that couldn't happen. It couldn't have been a black person wouldn't have been, or a black man wouldn't have been able to do that. Well, none of them were. We have European. All of them are European. Israeli. There's Russian, German, UK. So, yeah. Well, taking a slightly different turn. How about those PPP loans?
Faking until you make it.
Faking it till you make it, until the president of the United States tells you that they're starting task force to crack down on anyone that had those loans. My people, stay safe. I don't know. I didn't have any, so I don't have to worry about it. I know Buck didn't have any. I don't have to worry about it.
I couldn't even get the motherfucking $600 for the employment boost. The unemployment boost shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I didn't apply for anything. I was like, nope, y'all not gonna catch me when all this is over, and then try to get something back now. I was all right. And luckily, nothing changed in my lifestyle anyway. I worked all the way through. Everything was pretty much the same.
Yeah, that was a great time actually.
Yes, for some people actually really thrived during this time. Many people didn't, and I feel really bad for a lot of those people.
I feel bad for them.
I do. I mean, there was tragedy in my household. My father passed away during this time as well, with COVID. So, it was one of those things. But outside of that, which is obviously a huge thing, outside of that, some people really did. It kind of worked to their benefit a little bit. Just whether it's just getting to know you a little bit more, taking the time to take a break that was not given before. If you were lucky enough that your employment was not affected at all, or it was affected, but you were now able to work from home. Many of these jobs, like telemarketing jobs, that people were begging to work from home and were constantly told from the company that that's impossible and there's no way to do that, and security breach and blah, blah, blah. And then COVID comes and they're like, all right, take the computers home. You're working from home. Like, it was just like, okay, that none of that stuff matters anymore. But it was helpful for a lot of people. I mean, but it was also very, very, very difficult for others. So, as with everything.
They said they hiring a special, what? A special investigator or something for these PPPs?
There was a task force, and then
task force
and special investigations that they are putting money towards for that once whatever it is that he's proposed is passed. So be prepared.
Be prepared.
Be very prepared for whoever that is that needs to be prepared. But it's not me, so that'll be one fight I don't have to fight.
They're going to spend more money investigating people who got money.
Of course. More money. Makes sense. Whatever. Anything else about scammers?
Yeah.
Faking it till you make it.
The scam, how inflation is about to go crazy. That's a scam.
Insane. We don't talk about the scamming of the government and funds. That's the biggest scam. That's the one you get away with. IRS, big scam. Those are the ones you get away with, though. Or they get away with. No, I don't get away with it. But yeah, I don't know.
Everybody
Crazy.
gonna be paying sky high prices for little regular things.
Regular things, gas.
The president suggested that they don't, that these businesses cut their costs.
But didn't say how. I was confused about that.
Right.
Like how you don't just say abracadabra cut costs, because those costs have to be cut everywhere else. There's a ripple effect. Right. Unless you're just saying we need you to cut your profit, which is not smart for someone who's in a business. You don't want
inflation is like it's going to be like the whole country. So it's not like it's going to be like wherever they getting their stuff from is probably charging them more.
Of course, it's the whole country. Matter of fact, the whole world. And then we have, we're on the verge of war in the world itself. I won't say necessarily U.S., but we don't know what's going to happen there. So all of those things affect the price of everything. So inflation is going to be insane. It's already hard to find somewhere to rent, to pay for. These rents prices in different places. I just saw an article that showed like gas prices in California was at like over $6 a gallon.
Damn.
Like over, like close to 6.5. I'm like,
this could be that push. This could be the push that people need to go to these electric cars, though.
That's true. That might be what's trying to be pushed. But it's not like the electricity is not free either, and they changed it. The price of the electricity changes depending on the time of day that you're getting it, which is insane as well. Not that it costs any more, but for them to give it to you, however, it does cost more certain times that you decide to take it. Insane. I don't know. I just hope for the best. I don't know exactly what we're supposed to do.
Hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Yep, that's how it's got to go. I don't know what else we're supposed to do. Yeah. Well, anything else about scamming that you want to talk about before we go into entertainment news and our health tip, or Buck's health tip, because I don't have one this week?
Oh, nah. I don't think I have one either.
But you'll figure something out by the time we're to the health tip. You gotta have something.
Oh, okay.
Just think about it. You can think about it while we briefly go through entertainment news.
Entertainment.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on. I've stayed away from all of the sites. I've stayed off the internet except for like specific things, mainly because I didn't want to be depressed with all the world news that was going on. So I'm just looking to see what's going on now as far as entertainment.
Since you mentioned entertainment, there was something I saw this week with Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah.
He's a great actor, great talent.
Amazing.
I saw a picture, and I didn't understand why other people were so offended by this picture.
True. That's where he was like the cover of a magazine or magazine article. And
it was a nice picture where it could have been like a magazine cover or something,
yeah,
but I think it was just a picture.
I think it was. No, I think it was for the cover of a magazine.
I don't understand. He had on the shirt. He had on a blazer. He had on a head wrap. He had on what looked to be like, what is that called? Not casual. Formal wear.
Yeah.
Shorts.
Yeah.
Like old people used to wear back in the days before jeans became popular, and jean shorts and all the other kind of shorts.
Yeah.
He had on some shoes. He had on some socks pulled up high, like old people used to wear. But the socks were like, what's the description of those socks? Sheer? With like designs on them, pattern on them?
Yeah. It was the cover of Replica Man magazine. I don't know that magazine, but when I see like it has 19.8 thousand followers on Instagram. So I don't know how major the magazine is, but it was called Replica Man, and he was on the cover, but there was also photos on the inside.
I didn't get. Was the photo different on the inside? Was he wearing like a skirt or something?
Nope.
I don't understand what the problem is.
So there were two covers. There was one cover, the cover that I just pulled up.
Even if he was wearing a skirt, it shouldn't be a problem
It shouldn't
in the
be an
world we
issue.
live in now, right?
So the first cover that I pulled up, I'm just turning this so Buck can see it a little bit. So the first cover is just him with a afro. You can see that?
Right.
That's the cover. And then there's a alternate cover that people were having issues with. I am assuming the picture's not loading, but it's the one that you saw. And they're stating the alternate cover, he sat on a vintage chair dressed in black pants, platform boots, and an orange silk duster.
No, that's not the...
So maybe there's another. That's the alternate. Oh, the cover is coming through. So I'll see it in a little bit once it comes through. And then there was another picture, I think, that you were talking about with the sheer, almost stocking-like socks that you can see through with, like, flowers or something on it. So there was a bunch of different pictures. But either way, to each his own. I don't see a problem. Like, even this. So he has on platform boots, an orange duster, which I guess could be considered effeminate.
Those look
to
like
some
the
people.
same pants, too, right?
Yeah, because they're high pants, but this is like
Oh, those
really
are
high
pants with the
platform
boots.
So, I don't know.
Man.
But my thing is like, so what? Like, what's the big deal? Like, this person is an actor that can be in a movie and he can pretend to be an entirely different person than what he is, and it's still just artistic expression. So why does this make a difference? He didn't come out and say anything either. So it's not, I mean, this literally could be, I'm acting something out for this magazine, or I came in and did whatever the artist wanted me to do to take pictures. Or it could be, this is how I dress in my free time anyway. What difference does it make to you? Why does that change?
Sometimes I believe that people are like envious of certain things, and they try to give themselves reasons why they can't attain those things.
I agree. I agree.
And try to make it sound noble.
I agree. People, a lot of times, people do that. They want to do something and someone else is doing it, and it's something that is taboo and people are not supposed to do. And so they jump on, oh, no, and go off on that person. It's like everyone around you is kind of just like, all right, and so what? I don't care.
I know I'm tired of the media. I've heard people saying that the media likes to humiliate black men as actors, and I mean, it's not humiliation if the man has no problem doing it.
That's what I think.
What it does do is create a separation when the black people start acting crazy towards that person and treating them like they're not welcome within their own community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's very harmful
That's
for
sad.
celebrities and famous people who have made it to a like higher standard of life, who could serve as an example on how to be successful and thrive.
Yeah.
Instead of embracing them and welcoming them so they can be of some further assistance, whether morally, financially, they like to like outcast them and make them feel like they're by themselves. And then when you see them with a whole bunch of people from other communities, you're going to call them a sellout.
Yeah, exactly. 100. You hit that right. That's perfect. Perfectly stated. It's true. It is really true. There's only so much people can take of not being accepted for who they are and what they like before they move to something else. And they just go where they're accepted. So we have to rethink that. And I'm not necessarily saying that I do that. I don't think I do. I don't believe that I do. But I would never want to do that. And I think that we need to rethink this. Some of these headlines, like sometimes the headlines come through and it's like, why is this even a headline? Why are you entertaining this? And why are you helping to push this forward?
Right.
Like what do you think? Especially, it bothers me even more when, as a black female, and I'm sure as a black male, for you, it's a black site that is doing it.
Right.
Like you're perpetuating this. You're pushing this forward. Like this is okay.
Right.
When reporting on it could have gone completely differently if someone else was because if someone else says something, then you jump on it like, how dare you? But
Right.
for you to put it out there like that, someone didn't even hear this news and now they're looking at it and then people chime in. And depending on who is reporting that news, people respond differently. So if I'm going to Gossip or On Site or whatever, people might feel like, oh, those are my people that are talking about it, so I can
Right.
get really candid, and they start going in extra hard. It's still a human being on the other end that is, trying to find their way, and you all are perpetuating this and putting it out there, and I don't like that. I think that's bogus. I don't even remember. I know I was reading something to you off of one of the sites, and you were like, "Who was reporting that?" And I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was really bad. It was like harsh, and there's a lot of that going on, where the headlines are insane, and people are just flocking to them, like, "Oh, what's going on now? Like, how can we tear down someone else's life?" Like,
Right.
it's crazy, and then we put it out there, and it's all about the spin. That's not to say that if you're reporting, you can't report. And especially if you're one of the black sites, you're going to report on black news. Like, it only makes sense. You're not reporting on other stuff unless it relates to the black news. But you can report it with a different spin. There's like 12 sides to every story. And so you can report it and make it a little bit more uplifting, or maybe learn from it, as opposed to putting it out there. Like, sometimes it's just a headline with a picture and they're like, "Tell me what you think." And that leaves it open for everyone to jump in and just go crazy. Why? Like, that's the definition of toxic to me. And you're doing a disservice to your community. And if any of you that run those sites are out there and listening, I'm talking to you. So yes,
Doing
take
a
it personally.
disservice to the world in general.
To the world. To the world.
I think maybe they learn it from the history of media.
Yeah.
And instead of coming to the conclusion that media, as I know it, or I would say we, referring to people our age who've grown up in America, as I have,
Yeah.
media is used to sway your beliefs and cause dysfunction.
Absolutely.
So they go along with what they've seen and what they've learned because they deem it to be acceptable in the way things go, instead of analyzing it for what it is. I've been on a long enough rant, but I'm going to just say, like, trigger words and dysfunction. At first, a while ago, the trigger word was communist.
Yeah.
And now the trigger word is terrorist.
Yeah.
So when America spins something and they talk about terrorists, they could at that point do anything.
Yeah.
The way people believe when they hear that word.
That's true. It's very true. And those are trigger words that then all aspect of reasoning in your mind is gone. Is there so much passion behind those words that when you say it, even though you're doing something evil to someone, or you're being exactly what you don't like, because you use those words, you're not justified in what you're saying.
Right.
Like, it's terrorists, that's no longer human.
Right.
Or, communists, they're not human. So it does a disservice.
All these trigger words: terrorists, right wing, left wing.
Left wing, whichever wing it is, I don't even know.
Woke is one.
Woke, yeah. There's a lot. There's triggering words that people just want to categorize people. And even within categories, there's such a vast array of where you can be in those, whatever people decide to label you. And so labels, while they can be helpful for some things, like organizing your cabinets, they're not great for human beings and living beings. They're not great.
Like Putin is using the word Nazi.
Yeah, that's another trigger.
That's more of a trigger word in Europe, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's trigger words. There's things that when you say it, people go, "Oh, they're on edge." Wait,
Right.
what? Proud Boys. Oh, wait. Black Lives Matter. Oh, wait, what? Like, there's things, Me Too. Okay, like, these certain things make all other reasoning go away. Your name can even be a trigger word, because I can say Trump and there you go. Boom. Trigger. Like, it used to be there was politics or religion. It was like, oh, wait. They all give the same type of feeling. They are trigger words. And people go on edge. And they're so deeply rooted in what they believe that they're ready to argue. Not ready to see where the similarities are, which would be more helpful to see what are the similar themes, underlying themes of what any side of anything is trying to accomplish, because otherwise you're just trying to demolish. So
either you build or destroy where you come from.
Build or destroy. I was waiting for him to say that. I was gonna turn to him and be like, but I was like, you know what? He's gonna chime in right there. I know he is, and that's exactly it. We build to destroy. And where do you want to be in that realm? Some people proudly want to be destroyers. Some people's history is nothing but destruction. Although that's not what is portrayed, because some people own the media, and so it's portrayed opposite. But history of destruction, like, we need to change that.
That was J Electronica bar.
Sure was, I know.
For people who don't know.
I know it. Yeah. We need to change that. We need to all be builders. We can all build different aspects, different parts of things, but
I think it's impossible, though. With duality, the duality of the world, there have to be destroyers.
I mean, that's accurate, because if you think about it, most of the time to build, you do destroy something.
True.
If I'm building a home somewhere, I have to destroy part of the ground. I have to so destruction. There is duality. The destruction shouldn't be your
The
end
destruction
goal.
should be used to build.
Yes. It has to be. It can't be your end goal. Like, I just want to. If my goal is I want to make sure that he's gone forever, that's destruction. What does that do for you?
Right.
I want to make sure that this person never gets to a. What is that?
Right.
How does that help you? That same person can spin it and say, I want to make it so that I am successful, my family is successful, my loved ones, that the world is better. You might end up with the same amount of money in either situation, but you're just so set on destroying and hurting. And we need to not do that. There's going to be destruction, but there's also positive destruction. Or there's ways that you sacrifice some things for the greater good. That does happen, but I'm tired of the things that are getting sacrificed being the same things over and over. I'm tired of being people of color. I'm tired of it being like there's a bunch of different things that we sacrifice and we think it's okay. And when I say we, I don't think it's okay, but people who are in power think that it's okay, and it's not right. So we need to get to where we're building and we're not destroying anymore. We need to support each other. We need to make it a culture of being together and trying to advance in a safe way, rather than trying to say, I've been hearing a lot of people say, well, you have to protect your own. What is your own?
Right.
We've been hearing that a lot. Well, this is, you don't understand this. This is okay, but I'm a human and you're a human. So let's talk about things that are right and wrong, and let's try to fix that and not be, not be so divisive. I think it's very weird and odd to me that you can reach out for help and ask someone for help, and then in the same breath we can see videos of you, that same group, telling other people that they don't belong and they need to leave, and it's us. We're helping us, not you right now. And I'm talking specifically about the African students that we've seen in the Ukraine trying to flee just like everyone else and being pushed aside, and they're not allowed to. And it makes it very difficult. So I want you want to help. I feel for everyone, and I want everyone to be safe and to be loved and feel like they belong. And if I'm helping you and you're doing the opposite to someone else, that doesn't feel good. So I know that's another trigger for a lot of people, because people are like, you don't understand it. You're not. I don't understand that. I'm not there. I get that. But when I'm in distress, that doesn't make me negate everyone that's around me. I'm not that type of person. So I might be in distress and running for my life, and then see someone else fall down and try to help them and continue moving. Like, if it gets to the point where I can't, I might move on, sure. But I'm not the person that's tripping you so that someone else can get you so I can get away. Like, there's a difference between it. Although I have in the past, for those of you who know me, have joked about something exactly like that, I really wouldn't do it. I really wouldn't do it. But it's just, to me, when you claim to be a compassionate person and you want to help and raise money and all of that, there's always causes. There's always things that are going on. There are things that it's not outside of the norm. Like, we run to the things where it's like, oh, these people are doing okay, and now someone has done wrong to them. There's some people that are living through things that are horrible all the time. Their norm is not even decency. So let's not stop supporting those who need this support. So I'm not being anti any of that. Just let's not kick others when we're down as well. That's just my 2 cents. Whether it gets me in trouble or not, it's my 2 cents. Let's be great people. Let's love everyone. Let's try to help and support as much as we can. And some people can support more than others. Some people can support financially. Some people can give their time. Some people can sign petitions. It doesn't have to all be money. Some people can share posts, likes, whatever. But let's try to build. No more destruction. My rant. All right. I feel this week looking at the news, that the entertainment news specifically, that seems kind of ridiculous that I don't want to go off of the rant that we were just on and then go into more Kim and Kanye news and Lil Wayne and Cardi B trying to get her money from this lady.
Hold up, the last thing Joe Biden said was go get him. What was he talking about?
I'm still confused about that. Go get him. Who were you talking to and what were you talking about?
We can get into that on a later date.
We'll get into it on a later date. He said it right after talking about the soldiers and things and such. So, I don't know. I was hoping that I would see some people talking about it so that I could get some clarity. Because it was like literally the last thing he said. But anyway. We're potting. I think...
I was just trying to throw a diversion from hating on Kanye.
No, I wasn't going to talk about Kanye. Shout out to Kanye. Kanye, I love you. I'm not, I know someone in this room likes to tell me that I'm a hater, and I'm not at all. We recently watched Genius, that's what it's called, right? Yeah. The trilogy, Kanye trilogy. And it was great to see like a lot of it, and you get to see how much struggle everyone goes through, but specifically Kanye and everything he was doing. And the last episode, the third episode of the trilogy, was really sad. It was talking a little bit more about the mental health, and it was kind of sad for me. And I just want to say I support you. I hope that everything stays on the up and up. I know there are a lot of really good things that he is trying to do, and regardless of the method or whether people agree with it, I truly do believe that a lot of it is from a good place and a place of love. So, shout out to Kanye. All right. Buck, the president. Anything you could think of for health tips?
Burdock root.
Burdock root, what does that do?
The health benefits of burdock root. BURDOCK root. I think people should research that.
Research that. And I know we shouted them out before, I believe, but sometimes it's really hard to figure out where to find all of these things, all these different places. So I know that Buck uses Pharmacy for Life.
Yeah, but I don't get burdock from them. I get burdock from, last place I got burdock from was Mountain Rose. I don't want to do promotion for these people that ain't paying me.
Yeah.
I don't want to recommend any specific place and then something happens and
and then you're mad at you.
I'm out here looking crazy.
Looking crazy. I mean, do your research. I guess anything
and then
that's
you can find out where it's convenient for you to get it.
True. Anything that's worth having is worth researching, and I don't do that as much. I turn to Buck and say, "Hey, what's this? Okay, what I need it for? Okay," and that's not good, because you can't necessarily rely on others all the time. There will be a time that they're not there, but just start thinking about it and researching it. Pharmacy for Life is a good start, though.
I'll plug Pharmacy for Life. I respect that. Yeah,
any of the places that have like capsules, it's really hard to get doses right, and some of these things taste disgusting. So to be able to take a pill form or a capsule form, which the herbs are still there, it's not like it's some pressed thing, is good. And drink a lot of water, as always. Anything else you want to add, Buck the President, before we get out of here?
Nah, I'm pretty I'm ranted out right now.
All right, well, I don't really have much to add as well. We've been speaking to you now for 54 minutes. Didn't even feel like it was that long. So I'm just going to leave with my closing remarks. Learn to love who you are while striving to be a better version of you each day. Don't base your actions solely on your emotions. Try to find principles to live by and base your actions on those. Aim to be a good person and then stick to your word as closely as you can. You cannot please everyone, so just try to be good and everything else will work itself out. Always. I get most of that. I try to say those closing remarks every show. I think there was one that I didn't say it, but more than half, at least half of those statements that I've gotten from Buck, the president, in different ways, shapes, and forms, of him trying to make me a better person every day. So I try to do these things. I fail a lot of the times, but you got to keep trying. So I share that with you every week. Think about it, write it down, and just try to inch closer to those things every day. All right?
Strength, love, and blessings.
Always. That is episode 8 of the Ladies and Goons podcast.